Aquaman 2 is the last splash of the DCEU, and it drowns in its own mediocrity. In this review, I'll reveal why this movie failed so miserably. So, make sure to watch till the end. This movie is a superhero spectacle that was released in 2023, and it's the sequel to the 2018 movie Aquaman. It's part of the DC Extended Universe, which is a series of interconnected movies featuring your favorite DC superheroes. Our main character is none other than Aquaman himself, played by the charismatic Jason Momoa. If you're not familiar with Aquaman, he's a superhero who has the power to control the ocean and communicate with sea creatures. In this movie, he's not just a superhero, but also the King of Atlantis, an advanced civilization that exists deep under the sea. Aquaman, whose real name is Arthur Curry, is living a double life. On one hand, he's a king who rules over Atlantis, and on the other, he's a family man who lives on land with his wife Mara and their son, Arthur Jr. Balancing these two worlds is no easy task, and it's one of the themes that the movie explores. But life isn't all about ruling kingdoms and raising a family for Aquaman. He's got a nemesis, Black Manta, who's out for revenge. Black Manta, whose real name is David Kane, blames Aquaman for his father's death and will stop at nothing to get his revenge. In Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, Black Manta is causing all sorts of trouble. To stop him, Aquaman has to team up with his half-brother Orm, who's been locked up in prison. Their mission is to prevent Black Manta from getting his hands on a powerful weapon known as the Black Trident. This weapon is said to be cursed and could cause unimaginable destruction. The movie is directed by James Wan, who's known for his work in the horror genre. He has a unique touch to all his movies, except this one, creating thrilling action sequences and stunning visual effects. The screenplay is written by David Leslie Johnson, who has worked on several other movies in the DC Extended Universe. Now, by just hearing that, you should have a good understanding of what this movie is. It's just another mid-superhero movie, which there was a lot of them in 2023. Let me be perfectly clear. This movie is not terrible, but it's not good either. Everyone in their right mind knew this movie was doomed to fail from the start. I'm not going in detail about the reasons, but here is a few of the reasons. This movie stars Amber Heard, an actress no one really likes or want to see. This movie was released in 2023, which was one of the worst times for superhero movies. If you're enjoying this review, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Why wasn't Aquaman 2 as successful as the first one, which grossed over $1 billion? Well, at the time the first one was released, the demand for superhero movies was much higher. Let's be honest, if the first one was released in 2023, it wouldn't have done as good as it did back in 2018, because it wasn't that good of a movie either. At these times, when people are starting to be less interested in superhero movies, studios should try new things and risk. Playing safe will not cut it anymore, which is why Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom failed so badly. The movie feels lost, as the name suggests. It doesn't really lead to anywhere. I mean, you can feel exactly where the reshoots have happened. Let's talk about the visuals. The visuals in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom are decent, but they don't quite hit the mark. One of the main issues is the underwater scenes. You'd think being underwater would be a major part of a movie about the King of Atlantis, but it's surprisingly hard to tell at times. Characters often just stand on the ocean floor as if it's dry land, and you have to look for clues like floating hair to confirm they're actually underwater. It's a bit of a letdown and takes away from the immersion. Another issue is the lack of director James Wan's signature style. Wan is known for his cool, intimidating shots, but they're largely absent here. It's a shame because those shots could have added a lot to the movie's visual appeal and made the underwater world feel more alien and awe-inspiring. Wan's unique touch could have given the movie a more distinctive and memorable look. Moreover, the movie doesn't fully take advantage of its unique setting. The underwater world of Atlantis has so much potential for stunning visuals, but the movie doesn't quite deliver. It's like they've missed an opportunity to really wow the audience with the beauty and strangeness of the underwater world. Overall, while the visuals are okay, they could have been so much better. Now about the characters. We got Arthur Curry, or Aquaman, played by none other than Jason Momoa. Honestly, there is nothing to talk about here. It's Jason Momoa bringing the same laid-back energy he brings to every role, but I kinda felt like his heart wasn't in this movie. Maybe because of all the reshoots. I actually liked Patrick Wilson in this movie more. He was having fun in this movie, and his chemistry with Jason Momoa was great. And the main threat to this movie. Amber Heard. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Her parts have been cut down to very minimum, really. There's not a lot of her in this movie, which is kinda sweet and bitter. The sweet part is that you don't see her that much in the movie. Or when she is in the scene, she is doing literally nothing most of the time. And she is just there, and she has nothing to do with the story. The bitter part is that this movie focuses a lot on Arthur's or Aquaman's personal life and fatherhood, and literally doesn't make sense to not have Amber Heard's character Mara in those scenes. But there is nothing new about this movie. There's nothing we haven't seen before. It's just another mid-superhero movie which does nothing, goes nowhere, and doesn't bring anything new to the table. It just uses ideas that have worked before, and at the time when superhero movies and the studios are in danger. Instead of being creative and thinking outside of the box and coming up with new ideas, they played it safe. And that's why this movie failed. Would I recommend it to you? Absolutely not. It's just a waste of time. It's boring and it doesn't challenge the audience, but if you have a couple of hours to just waste and then regret wasting it, I guess it's not the worst thing you could watch, because in 2023 there were a lot of terrible superhero movies that came out, and I'd rather watch this than them. In the next video I review Echo, which was literally the worst way to start 2024. So subscribe and ring the bell so you won't miss it.